corroborate that, and I don't know what condition these remains were in.
What was the thing below it?
Yeah, the bunch of stones.
Looks like a little sewing kit.
Oh.
And then here, you can see you got a couple cell phones, and occasionally we'll try to get numbers off these phones when the consulate comes in. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Is that unusual for migrants to have cell phones?
No, no, no. It's just kind of hit or miss. Some a little necklace charm or something like that right there, and then you might have miscellaneous cards or photographs with numbers on it. 1977. Okay.
Dr. Hess?
Yeah.
Do you ever have a storage problem with the belongings of the property?
Not really. I mean, we used to have a lot more and take up more of these cabinets, but typically we can put quite a few, quite a bit of property in here. Let's find something else.
You release with the remains.
Yeah, when we don't have the remains anymore, we release the...
Where do the remains go for the ones who get interned at the county cemetery?
The items?
Yeah.
Yes. They're sent to the public fiduciary. Beyond that, I'm not sure what they...
What the public fiduciary does with them is that if they have money and things like that, they'll use that money to offset the cost of the burial and whatnot. Otherwise, they'll store that property for maybe 6 months or so, and then they'll dispose of it if we still haven't figured out who it is. But they can't keep all that stuff indefinitely either.
Yeah.
Another example where you have, a couple identification cards that were found with these remains, Mexican currency, some Santa Muerte. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Iconography there, a couple little, pictures down here.
So it looks like he has his voting card there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, this is for a job. It looks like healthcare. But again, we still haven't figured out if this is actually the remains for this person that we have or not.
Do they, I mean, I don't think you would know, but is it usual that they will steal somebody else's credentials, or they are given somebody else's credentials? Or?
I don't know oftentimes how they end up with that stuff. But sometimes we'll find, we don't have these remains here anymore, I don't think, but we had one that had, came in with a whole bunch of these little pictures.
Oh.
So clearly they were making IDs and stuff like that, and that was just a good example of what I was talking about. And no, not every ID that we have is a false ID, but we have to treat it like it is until we can prove otherwise. In fact, here's I think I saw somebody the other day with a there's Orlando Bloom. So a little mirror right there. So I just thought that was interesting. So just kind of weird stuff like that. And here I say that we don't keep things that don't have any value. Here we kept some Band-Aids. I don't know why. It's not going to be anything that's going to help us identify, but most of the time we'll discard this type of thing.
What are the clothes on the top of that?
Those are all clothes that the county has. It has nothing to do with migrant stuff.
Where are their clothes stored?
In the bag with the remains, in a separate bag, in like a biohazard bag. We don't want to separate too much because then you have to piece it all back together again when you're trying to release remains. So now we know if we're going to try to release remains, you have to get the actual remains. The clothing should be in the bag. You have to come in and get property if there's property associated with that, and then release it all to the funeral home.
Is this your name on here?
Yeah.
What are these for?
There's drugs in there. Yeah. My personal stash. For cases that I've done, it would be in there for last month, I think. So, personal effect questions? I mean, we could go on forever about the effects, but anything jump out? Robin, did you have a timeline? Can we just make a quick trip to Anthro, or?
Sure, yeah.
We'll do that.